Hey, welcome to the Virgo channel. My name is Laura and I'm going to do a general message for Virgo. Know that energy is fluid, so roles could be reversed, flip it, switch it, twist it. Just interpret the message as it best resonates for you. Now, if you're new to the channel, anyone could win a reading with me. All they need to do is, if they listen to the video and they resonate with it, give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and write the word nervousness in your comment bar. You'll know if I chose you if I wrote the word winner underneath. If I did, then we'll correspond back and forth on YouTube, or you could reach out to me through my email that's in the description box, and we'll figure out a good time that works for the both of us that I could do a reading for you. Now, all readings are done live. This way, it's beneficial for everyone involved, beneficial for me because I get to display the type of readings that I do, beneficial for the person that obviously won the reading and anyone that resonates with the reading. Now, I always start my readings using my deck, and I chose the word from my deck, as you can see. I just did it before I decided to come on. This time I didn't want to waste time choosing the word. Every day it's something different. Now, I always like to open up my readings using the Psychic Soul Healer deck because I like to look at the karmic themes. I like to look at the spiritual energies. And the reason why is because it'll help us determine whether you're dealing with a soulmate twin flame, whether you're dealing with a karmic mate. It'll help us determine what psychological and emotional blocks you have that are, creating dissonance, an energetic, vibrational dissonance in your situation, which means what are you unconsciously doing that is pushing away your outcome that you want to have in your situation, whether that's, have a balanced relationship, whether it's, obtain money, whatever it is. And you might say, well, the problem's not me, the problem's someone else. However, we're always having a relationship with ourselves. What does that mean? Well, people that come into your life are supposed to come into your life to teach you something about yourself. So again, when we have a soulmate twin flame and that person triggers us, it's because, again, there's something that we need to look at deep within inside of ourselves. So will I tell you about what's going to happen? Yeah, today I want to look at what does your person really truly think about you? What are their hidden truths? And what are your spiritual blocks? The two of you together. And so what spiritual blocks you have personally, what spiritual blocks they have personally, and the spiritual blocks that you have together. And what is the actual karmic, lesson? How are we going to balance out your situation? So I'm looking at those three things. If you want to count the, your energy, your spiritual blocks and their spiritual blocks as two separate things, well, then we're looking at four things, but really we're just looking at the undercurrent energy of your situation. All right. Now, let's just see one more time. I shuffled them pretty well before, but for video purposes, I know a lot of people like to know that we shuffle. Okay, look, clear, karmic, family karma. Unlike DNA. Well, this is two, like, want you to know, clearing family karma and unlocking DNA, to me, is almost like the same thing, because when we grow up in families that have addiction, families that have money problems, families that lived more from a fear state consciousness, a state of lack and limitation, then we inherit family karma. Family karma can look like addictions. It can look like, again, money problems. It could look like health problems. And so it's our environment that they say creates our reality. And the reason why is because we form habits and behaviorisms that are in alignment with our environment. So if you grew up in survival because there was a lack and a limitation, then you would be someone that hoards money. You would be someone that isn't that freely open, not just open with your resources, but open emotionally. So this shows me that you there's a this is a soulmate twin flame relationship that's actually mirroring that you and your person have the same blocks. And so it's all about clearing family karma. When we unlock DNA too, we are we're we're accessing our gifts. We're accessing our true potentiality a lot of times because, like I said, your environment creates your reality. So we form, again, survival mechanisms. So survival isn't just about whether you have food on the table. However, with poverty situations, there could have been a lack of food. There could have been a lack of support. Support could be also emotional. The mind doesn't know the difference. But bottom line is, you and your person have the same spiritual blocks. And this is during this point in time, if you're wondering why they're in your life, it's because to help you clear family karma. Now, does that mean it's an easy relationship? Hell no. Because if we're clearing family karma, we too have these deep seated wounds from a really long time ago, from when we grew up. So whether you're 20, 30, 40, the older that you are, the harder it is to integrate those wounds, because the mind is all about the survival. So we form behaviorisms and habits like anxiety, depression, addiction, codependency. That's what happens, again, when you grow up in an environment that's a fear-based consciousness. And the reason why is because you form these behaviorisms is because there's a sense of feeling that you need something outside of yourself to be complete, to be whole, to be safe, to be loved sometimes, even. Because remember, I'm not just talking about financial, I'm talking about emotional. Again, naturalists. And so I know that this is a soulmate twin flame relationship because you feel like home. Soulmate twin flame relationships a lot of times are past life partners that come back in to this life, and they come back to teach these really hard lessons. So there's a lot of passion, there's a lot of chemistry, there's a lot of, like I said, turbulence, because there's also a lot of triggers. Now, I wanted to see what their hidden truths are. Like I said, I want to see. So here we are. We're dealing with a person that is our soulmate twin flame, and we have wounds. I don't know whether you guys are together or not, or separate. We're about to find out. We're about to find out what has transpired within this relationship, and then we're going to look at the blocks, and we're going to look at what needs to be integrated. The blocks is not the karmic theme, which I just said. It's the psychological and the emotional individual blocks that create the triggers. You came closer than me than anyone, so this tells me that there is separation and almost an ending. My life is not as together as it seems. I'm feeling like your person is in a connection with someone else. and they're very codependent. They have, again, inherited a lot of this family karma of needing other people to kind of take care of them. Now, this doesn't mean that they can't go off to work and make money. I feel like they can. I feel as if they let other people make a lot of the decisions in their life. They're very codependent. They don't trust themselves. And this is because they've also been around people that have kept them in that low vibration. So it's not uncommon when we heal that we lose people as you shed layers of the old self. Your wants, your desires, your tastes, your what used to work in your life no longer does. I believe that your person, the person that you're here to look at, like, is so comfortable being uncomfortable. So though they have really strong feelings still, and like where you feel like this is a spiritual connection. And a spiritual connection is karmic one, it's teaching. So your person should have left their connection, possibly tried to leave this connection, but had a hard time leaving this connection. I'm so attracted to you. Not uncommon for a soulmate twin flame. There's always a lot of passion. There's always a lot of, because of all the wounds, of the triggers, of, the lessons that are really deep. We wouldn't stay wanting to learn them if we didn't love that person. So that's why you're getting this person. But right now, your person would need to rise to the occasion, Virgo. They would need to be able to, without your help, they would need to make the choice to actually leave their relationship. But the attraction and the chemistry and the passion is what is making this person very why they're having a hard time walking away from you, why I feel like they're still thinking about you. They're still thinking about you because of that. I want to be more than friends. And that's the thing. I feel like your person is in a connection with somebody else, but even though they're physically there, their mind and their emotions are with you, though they didn't make the choice to be with you. And the reason why is because they live in a facade. Their life isn't what it seems. They're hiding this person. They're hiding their codependency. They're hiding the imbalance. But deep down inside, they if you're saying, well, why can't we even be friends? How come you won't even talk to me? Because they want to be more than friends. And they don't know how to have a relationship that is actually a give and take relationship, it looks like. Codependency is not give and take emotionally, and the other person is supporting financially. So there's it's like one person feels that they can't do that, have that on their own. But in this stage, the person that you're connected to could. It's just they would need to leave the person that they're with, that they don't want to really be with. And that's the thing. It's like, don't want to be with, but that's what happens when you're connected to someone that, doesn't want you to move forward. They're going to plant little seeds in your head, right? And those seeds are ones that are already, your person already has a low self-esteem. They already have to clear family karma, right? It came from a place of lack, limitation, fear. So they are filled with fear. But again, the natural connection that you and your person have, there's a grander meaning for this connection, and it's to help you unlock your DNA so that you can evolve into higher states of consciousness, so that you can not live in fear anymore, right? So when we grow up in fear, we learn behaviorisms and habits that are going to be supportive to that. And part of that is depending on other people. So your person, like, again, is in separation from you. They're thinking about you, but I don't feel them doing anything about it. Battling inner demons now because they're battling in their inner demons, and those are the inner demons of I want to go, I want to be loved, I want to take a chance, but they can't because I don't trust myself. I'm used to depending on these people, not just one person, but I feel like a few. Um, but one major one for their like happiness, survival, support, whatever it is, it's like I don't feel like it's financial. I feel like if anything, they feel obligated to take care of this person. So this could be a past life karmic that they have children with. It could be again anything that a karmic just person, not even a past lover. It could be a friend, it could be a family member, but somebody that they feel like they can't go out and live. They feel obligated now. And this is a lot of times, like I said, as we evolve, we have to let go of certain people in our lives. We have to learn the spiritual lesson. We need to integrate the spiritual lesson. And we have people and situations and experiences that come into our lives that help us do that. Your person is not taking advantage of the fact that they have a very strong spiritual connection to you, Virgo. They love you, they're passionate about you, but they're still allowing people in their life to dictate their life. I'm ashamed of how I treated you. Again, I feel like all this back and forth of I like you, I don't like you. They have one foot in, one foot out. I feel like they treated you like everyone else because I'm thinking that they're connected to somebody that they don't really want to be with, but they feel obligated to. And so, in the fact that they're codependent with somebody else, even though they're not happy, they can't exactly have you in their life. So they're not really living their life. They're letting someone else dictate their life. That's why they didn't treat you nicely, because they didn't want you to see that. They didn't want you to get up close. There is something I am hiding from you. And it's, again, that's that codependency. That's that person. That's whoever they're involved with that they're not really involved with. They're not in a relationship, but they're in like a weird, like, again, could be a karmic relationship, one that there's no love anymore. Which is not uncommon when people have commitment issues. A lot of times it's because they were codependent. And so they go from one relationship, they give too much, they set up this dynamic where the other person is also dependent on them, and it becomes a trauma bond, and where it's nothing of happiness or joy in something like that. It keeps you bonded to the wounds that you had when you were growing up. A lot of times, if you grew up again in a place of lack or limitation, if you grew up in a place where you felt like you were underneath the thumb of somebody, where you couldn't make your own choices, couldn't make your own decisions. So then what happens is then you don't trust yourself to make those decisions later on in life. And then you attract people that take full advantage of that. And so I'm feeling like your person, Virgo, is a very highly sensitive, like empathic person. They tend to, when they get close, tend to feel almost responsible, which is another trauma response. When we grow up in a house where it's really imbalanced, and that could be because there's alcoholism. It could be, again, because someone's being abused. I felt like in this instance, is for a few, that your person's mother was abused. So they watched their mother being abused. And so there's a fear that's inherited family karma of, I'm afraid of commitment because I'm afraid of, getting trapped with the wrong person. I'm afraid that you're going to turn into someone. Again, not trusting oneself, because if a person changes, in the now you get divine guidance. You set boundaries so that they can't all of a sudden turn into somebody. Um, that your person goes along with everything until they don't want to go along with it anymore. And so they're again bonded to somebody else, but they don't really want to. And I think for a long time they justified it and they felt like it was okay until they met you, Virgo, because they have this very strong connection to you. I feel lost without you again because you feel like home. Again, that's that soulmate twin flame, that connection that happens in the 3D, right? It's a combination of astral energy and emotional energy. Like you can feel when your person's around you, you can feel when they're not around you. And they feel as if you've disconnected. Obviously, you would because they're not, capable of, being in a relationship until they do something within that with that. I also feel like because they don't feel good about themselves from far away, they could put on a facade of who you perceive that they are. And that was easy for them because at home, someone was taking care of all those things, even though there was no love. There's, someone was still like I said, caring for them. If someone's cooking, if someone's cleaning your house, if someone's, you know, doing something, whether that's paying the bills, whether that's whatever it is. So there was a sense of your person is perceived as being a lot stronger than they actually are from far away because you don't know about that person that's in the back. So you are the first thing on my mind when I wake up in the morning. So again, like I said, I knew before, like that your person has love for you. Now, again, love is the only thing that heals us, right? Unconditional love, which we have with a soulmate twin flame. It forces us to change. Remember, that's why you have spiritual soulmates. So let's see what the triggers are between you and your person. What were the triggers between you and your person? Obviously, this would be like abandonment a little bit if your person can never really give you anything, right? But let's see. Expectations. I felt disappointed and angry because my expectations were not met. I'm kind of feeling as if there's a little bit of mirroring going on there. Now, expectations for obvious reasons with you, Virgo, because this person was not giving you anything. If you feel such a strong spiritual connection and that where again the person feels like home and you can feel them when they're not around and you feel lost when they're not around, well then obviously you would expect that their actions are going to be in alignment with that. I feel like your person didn't give you anything because again they couldn't let you get close. So, and then I think for them, expectations was they expected you to like deal with it. Like, you love me, you like me, like you, my friend, you care about me, you claim to care about me, then you should stick to deal with it. So it's again, no, you shouldn't deal with it. But that's why I said there's a little bit of mirroring. I'm not saying that they have a right to mirror that. Argument. When I feel angry and irritated, I will start an argument if not soothed. So, gaslighting. I feel like you are not able to like communicate to this person, Virgo, that when you would tell them what your concerns were, they didn't really want to hear it. I also feel like your person would, if they didn't feel like you gave them enough attention, they would do little things to irritate you so that you would start an argument, almost so that they could tell whether or not you really cared enough about them or not. And this is also another trauma response when we have grew up in an environment with somebody that was like a dictator and we couldn't like speak our truth. We weren't allowed to speak our truth, so your person doesn't feel comfortable. being able to articulate their feelings or even express what they need. So instead, they just expect you to be a mind reader, expect you to deal with shit that you really shouldn't have to deal with third parties, even though that person they're not sleeping with. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, that person is still the one that, for family and holidays and whatever, they still show appearances, even though it's a loveless, the marriage is a sham and is held for money, and you're just supposed to like deal with that. No, that's not correct. So obviously, you weren't giving them what they needed because you didn't put up with it, and that's why they feel ashamed. They feel ashamed because of how they treated you. They treated you horribly because they didn't give you anything, and then like I said, they manipulated the situation, tried to like emotionally make you give to them by creating arguments, by creating fear, by having one foot in, one foot out, by again afraid of commitment, bringing all their baggage into this relationship. And now I feel like they're realizing that the importance of this relationship. I feel that there is still an emotional connection between you and your ex. Okay, so this is what you feel, Virgo, because there is like there's still that's what codependency is. And now your person is like it feels comfortable for them, but there's a bond, whether it's a love hate bond. It's a sense that the person that they're connected to has an emotional bond still to your person. So there is an X factor there, which would trigger anyone. Perfectionist, it's okay to make mistakes. So I feel like there's part of you that would trigger this. Like if you didn't get enough love, right, growing up, you need to clear family karma. And part of that is of not feeling good enough, of not feeling worthy enough, then a karmic thing would be for you to settle, right? Where, and a lot of times how we settle is we think we could fix it. So the old you, again, would try to be perfect, would give more, would try to love more because you feel that spiritual connection. So that maybe as a child, you tried to be like perfect, try to be a really good kid, and it's still like there was still problems in the house. Well, it's the same thing. It's like your person has a lot of baggage. You can feel that there's a really strong spiritual connection, but it's not about you being perfect. It's about your person being able to love themselves enough to want to heal and then also let love in, allow themselves to love. That's the issue. Influenced. We knew this because I already said it by backup cards. Being given bad advice, follow the crowd, don't give in to temptation. So again, the people that are around them, even though that they've outgrown them, they're still listening to them. That ex that they don't like is still able to influence them. That's what codependency is. So that's the problem that they don't really see why it couldn't work out, even if they don't like love this person, even if they never see this person, they live separately, even if they live in the same house, it could never work because it's that person, your person is so codependent still on that person that they're influencing them the whole time, that they didn't really give you anything. They don't realize the whole time they've been wrapped up in this for however long, but it's been a hot minute. For some of you, I feel like it's been like anywhere from 3 months to 3 years. And it starts like in, out, and then just like, okay, now that that's not working, is going to be out. Because what happened after a while is that you stuck up for yourself. So let's see from this deck. What are their plans? Let's see if I can get it out. Damn it. What happens sometimes with the cards that get stuck? And I can't get them up. All right, I want to see now. So they're influenced by, again, someone in their environment. And I know that it's their the person that they're codependent with. But as I said, I feel like there's also this whole family dynamic that also is influencing your person. And that some of that family could just be like extended family, but they're just numerous people, soulmates. But again, they feel like you're their soulmate, and you are. And understand you've come into their life to teach them, to show them something about themselves, because that's what a soulmate is. Your soulmate could be a dog. It's again, the real soulmates are like the past life soulmates that have come in, that there's real soul recognition. And that's what I feel like this is. It's a deeper type of soulmate. It's a past life soulmate. And with a past life soulmate, there's the option for it to evolve. Finances are a problem. It's, again, I feel like because the person that they're connected to, like, is all woven into, again, their finances. So that this is, again, what I felt. Now, your person could be the breadwinner. But the codependency is the fact that this person was keeping track of the finances, or they just knew about the finances. So they've made it difficult for your person to really leave. I feel like I ruined everything. And they did, because I feel as if they had an opportunity to break away from this. But they wound up getting roped back in, possibly because they were children. And so even though that they were separated, they still decided to coexist. And that's where your person went wrong, because of their codependency. It's like they had to make a decision on like a drop of a dime, and they made one on not really one that would benefit everyone except for themselves, which happens a lot of times when we are an unhealed empath. When we grow up in an imbalanced environment, we become the giver and the healer, and then we resent ourselves for it. And that's where your person is. It's like they wear a mask. They didn't let you get close because there's all this. I gave in to temptation, and I feel like the temptation in this was not another like sexual relationship or anything like that. It was more like I gave in to my weakness. I gave in to my weakness. Okay, what can the person do? And what can you do? Okay, this purification came out. Now 2 cards came out stuck together. Purification. So again, I would say heal, detox. Your person really needs to do some shadow work. They need to look at their past relationships. They need to look at the codependency, behaviorisms, because it's a karmic theme within their life, which is why now they met someone that's real, that they have true feelings where they're terrified, because that means that they would lose all control of themselves. Because even with this person that they don't like, they still feel emotionally manipulated. They just don't trust themselves. And awareness. So like I said, to be able to, awareness for both of you. Awareness, Virgo, if you're connected to someone that isn't giving you something. If this is repeating a karmic theme for you, where, again, your family didn't emotionally give to you. They were not available. Whether that was because they drank, whether because they were sick, whether that because it was one parent, doesn't matter what the karmic theme was. I mean, it doesn't matter what happened. What matters actually is healing the karmic theme, integrating the karmic theme, which is happens by first awareness. What is it? And it's again, the person's avoidant. They're emotionally not available. They're codependent. They need healing. They have um, commitment issues, which make you feel less than, not worthy. So you obviously shouldn't feed that because it's not going to, bring you more. And your person needs to see, if I love this person, I need to heal and clear the things in my life in order to make this relationship work. Magic, because there is magic there. The supernatural part of self is God, part of self, that we can feel in each other, especially our soulmates, especially when it's a divine connection, is because that's one that spirit has brought together to heal, to help evolve. Because love is the magic, right? It's actually the universal panacea, which is the magic pill. There is no magic pill, but love really is what conquers all. It's what heals. That's how you find balance, right? Again, especially when we have these relationships that, our mind and our heart will fight because obviously a person is not emotionally available. They have issues, but you can't help for who you fall in love with. So it's about saying I'm not the victim, but actually getting something out of the relationship. Otherwise, we can't, right? And we just kind of stuck with the person that's like, what the hell? They're not giving me anything. Oh, great, you're in love with me, but you can't get off your couch. You can't do anything. And so it teaches you unconditional love. The unconditional love that you had for your family, even though that they weren't perfect. It's like there's some hard lessons. Well, we get a person a lot of times like this so that spirit can say, you need to learn how to forgive and be like, you need to heal. You need to look at it and also see what the spiritual theme is. What other answer? I think that it's, again, once you clear lesson of this family karma of, putting up with people that don't give anything or can't give anything. That's how you live happily ever after. I don't believe that you can live happily ever after before. And again, detoxification again. So it's like you can live happily ever after, but you have to detox. And there needs to be a purging for your person. Now, I just want to pull one from the spiritual karmic deck just to see what the cards say the karmic lesson is. Because I feel like for you, Virgo, it was about self-love. For this person, it's also about self-love. Like if we grew up in family karma and there was a lack and limitation and that we don't feel good about ourselves because of that, because we formed behaviorisms and habits and we inherited the same limiting ones that our family had. We didn't get good results. There's a part of us that don't like who we are. There's also a part of ourselves that would be codependent in some way. And so I think also your person not being here for you, Virgo, also triggered that abandonment issue of, again, the lack of support. However, what does the card say? Our inner guidance is clear, but our ego is resisting it. So it's, again, what is that? That inner guidance is intuitive. So I feel like your person, they're intuitive, knows I love you. I can't stop thinking about you. I know that this is a divine connection. However, I'm afraid. I'm fearful. And I think for you, Virgo, it's like, you're like, yeah, we have a very spiritual connection. I can feel that, but I'm angry because of how you treated me. I'm angry because you made me feel like, again, less than, not important to you. So it's, again, the ego. The ego is that part of self that, again, will resist. When we are dealing with a soulmate, we have to surrender, and then we have to put more energy and love into ourselves. And then we can see a different perception of our situation. We realize that that person didn't take away, our happiness, and we didn't really need them per se for support. We can like still be attached to someone while they go through what they have to go through, until they go through it without being angry. Because if that is a soulmate relationship, one that you do care about, um, understand we meet people when they're in life, and sometimes that life doesn't work. So the awareness of who you are, and is really the awareness of how they are not living their truth, how they are not happy, and now they have to fix that. My heart is opening to love and guiding me back to you. And I'm going to leave it there, because it's, again, that's what I felt that they would, again, once they heal, which I believe that that's what they're doing. Now, healing could mean not just becoming awareness, but changing their life, because they know that they can't come back to you until they, really like become less codependent. They have to look at their wounds from the past, realize that they're codependent, realize that they're attached to people that are keeping them stuck, and they will. They are, because they're comparing you to them. There's a soulmate connection that your person has tried to walk away from, but they can't. So it's, again, because we can't control love. We have to surrender to it, and we surrender to it. And in that, they learn, and they can feel the difference. And again, in the end, the ego surrenders, right? Because this is what's happening now, where the inner guidance wants to come back, but as they heal themselves, that ego comes down, which is the wall of protection. It's not real protection. A lot of times it just keeps us locked away and cut off from people. However, the wall that they created is that ego. That wall comes down, and their heart leads them back to you, because you really are that a soulmate twin flame, a soulmate past life. However, you're meeting this person while they're in the midst of their transformation, or you've met them before, again, but right now, this separation, they're in the midst of their transformation, and you were also healing and clearing it, because the time away is allowing you to surrender. If you like this video, write the word nervousness in your comment bar and subscribe to the channel. Those three things will automatically get you into entering into winning a free psychic reading with me. I will talk to you all soon, Virgos. Bye.